Well, it's official. We now know the first transgender athlete approved to compete in the Olympics. Isn't this special? Laurel Hubbard, a 43-year-old weightlifter, a man who identifies as a woman, will now lift weights against, well, females. And to prove how ridiculous and unfair this is, all you have to do is do a little research, which I did for you today. The world record for the clean and jerk for a man is about 580 pounds. For a woman, it's 425 pounds. For Laurel Hubbard, her best clean and jerk was about 374 pounds, and that was in his younger days. So this is a man that could not compete against men on the world stage. His best clean and jerk, more than 200 pounds less than the male world record. That's not a world-class athlete. But against world-class women, well, he has consistently been finishing in the top 5 during world female weightlifting competitions. So you take a below-average male weightlifter, one that could never win, let him compete against a world-class female, and that below-average male then becomes an instant contender on the female stage, especially in weightlifting. It is not fair, and the International Olympic Committee should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen. I want to welcome in my panel, columnist and contributor at The First, Madison Gesiato. Also with us, founder of Young Americans Against Socialism, Morgan Zegers. Madison, Morgan, great to have you both on the program.
Good to be with you.
Thank you.
All right, Madison, what say you on this topic? I mean, we know it's not fair. I just can't believe they're really going to go down this road now for the Olympics.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've watched the Olympics lately, but there are 2 categories, a men's category and a women's category. And you may not know this about me, but I actually trained as a figure skater for 10 years, Grant, and I trained under an Olympian in Cleveland, Ohio. I traveled all across the country and obviously experienced firsthand the reasons why women are in a different category than men. And it isn't that men work harder, that they're just so much better than us. It's because they are biologically different than us. Men were working on triples when we were working on doubles. Men were working on quads when we were working on triples. They were able to do more because of their biological differences. And so obviously when it comes to sports, we've been separated into categories to allow women the equal opportunity to succeed in sports. So it's super disappointing to see this happening. As you mentioned, this transgender athlete is 43 years old. The average age of Olympic weightlifting is 23 for women. And so you're seeing these biological differences make a great impact and really take the spot of a biological female who would have been there living out her dream of competing in the Olympics if it were not for this transgender taking that spot. And people are mad about this. They're mad about this in schools across our country and countries across the world.
I would offer this up. As you well know, Madison, if you trained to be a figure skater on that level, I've been watching the Olympic trials on NBC. These are people, Morgan, that have committed their entire life to getting to this point. Right now, the drama of them fighting for a spot on the United States Olympic team. To think, what are we going to have male swimmers then soon swimming against females, Morgan? You know, their hopes and dreams are being ripped away. For what? It's not even political correctness. It's ridiculousness.
Absolutely. And I was also an athlete for many years when I was younger. And so I've looked into the science of this because I wondered, how did we come so far between, we used to have standards for what women could achieve and what men could achieve, just physically, what our constraints were. And now that line is so blurred. And the left claims it's in the name of science, but the science really shows that this is an incredibly anti-woman choice. And so this is an example of what the millionth time that the left has promised progress and then actually it resulted in regress. I thought it was interesting, though. I'm glad you did that research on the weight that's able to be lifted by a man versus a woman. I did some research myself, and I found out that, yes, the Olympics is really basing this off of what your testosterone level is. And because this competitor has a low enough testosterone level, that person is able to compete against women. But there's a lot of women's groups like Save Women's Sports Australia who have called this flawed policy because you can't possibly mitigate all of the opportunities and all the advantages that men are really born with, and especially for a man that's completely grown into a fully grown man and then transition into a woman and competed against women. So you aren't really able to mitigate those risks there by just limiting testosterone levels.
What amazes me is that the left, the Democrat Party, is supposed to be the party that is for women, support women, feminism, this, that, and the other thing. This is the worst thing you can do to women. I mean, if anything, they're debilitating women on the world stage when it comes to sports. But this is what we get from them. Madison Gesiato, thank you so much for coming on. Morgan Zegers as well, thank you too. We'll see you both again soon.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.